You know, from your face cream to your shampoo, you probably use a bunch of cosmetic products every single day. We just trust them. But what really goes on behind the scenes to make sure they're safe? It's not just about flashy ingredients. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on something called ISO 22716. It's basically the global rulebook that ensures quality in every single bottle.
So what is the secret, right? How does a brand make sure that the millionth bottle of lotion that rolls off the line is just as perfect as the very first one? Well, I can tell you it's not magic, and it is definitely not luck. It's a powerful, really structured system that's designed to guarantee quality from the absolute start to the finish. Because without a system like that, as you're about to see, it's just a total gamble. And this really says it all, doesn't it? In a world with no rules, every product you buy is a roll of the dice. You're basically betting that the ingredients are what they claim to be, that the factory was clean, and that, you won't have some kind of bad reaction. That's a huge leap of faith, and it's exactly why the entire industry needed one single global answer.
And here is that answer, ISO 22716. This is the international standard for what we call good manufacturing practices, or GMP, specifically for cosmetics. The easiest way to think about it is like a universal playbook for quality, a single set of rules that means whether you buy a product in Tokyo or Toronto, you're getting the exact same level of safety and reliability.
And what's really cool is how GMP is defined. This isn't just some mindless checklist. The standard actually calls it the practical development of quality assurance. What does that mean? Well, in other words, it's a smart system, not a dumb one. It's all about using real science and assessing risks to make sure the product you're holding is exactly what it's supposed to be.
And just look at how far this goes. It isn't just about what happens inside the big mixing vats. As you can see, these guidelines cover the entire life cycle of a product, from the moment it's produced and checked for quality, to how it's stored in a warehouse, and finally, how it's shipped out the door. Every single step is covered.
So, where does a quality system like this even begin? Well, before a single ingredient is even ordered, it all has to be built on a super solid foundation. And that foundation, as we're about to see, really comes down to two things: having the right people and having the right place.
First, it all starts with the people. The standard is crystal clear on this. Everyone involved, and I mean everyone, has to have the right training for their specific job. It's kind of like a Michelin star kitchen. You wouldn't let an untrained cook anywhere near the main course, right? The exact same principle applies here. Skilled, trained people are your first line of defense for quality.
Next up, the place itself, the actual building. The design of the factory is absolutely critical. It has to be set up to protect the product from contamination, be super easy to clean, and, this is a big one, prevent any mix-ups. The entire flow is planned out so that ingredients for, let's say, a face cream don't accidentally end up anywhere near a bottle of shampoo. And of course, you've got the equipment. Every single piece of machinery, from the mixers to the fillers, has to be perfect for the job it's doing. It has to be easy to clean and sanitize, and it has to be regularly checked and calibrated to make sure it's working just right. This isn't just about safety, it's about guaranteeing consistency from the very first bottle to the millionth.
Okay, so we've got our foundation set with the right people, place, and equipment. Now let's actually follow a product on its journey through a factory that follows all these rules. This is where all that theory gets put into practice.
This whole journey is all about control points. Just notice how nothing moves forward without someone giving it the okay. Raw materials, they're held in quarantine until the quality team gives the green light. During manufacturing, there are checks happening inside the process itself. And check out the packaging stage. The line has to be totally cleared of old stuff to prevent those critical mix-ups we talked about. It's like a series of locked gates that only open when quality is 100% confirmed.
And here's one of the most powerful tools in this entire system, the batch number. Every single production run gets its own unique ID, kind of like a fingerprint for that specific product. Now, why does this matter so much? Well, if there is ever a problem, that number lets the company trace a single bottle all the way from the store shelf back to the specific ingredients used on a specific day. That's total traceability. It's incredibly powerful.
But look, even with the best plans in the world, things can sometimes go wrong. So what happens then? A truly robust system isn't just about preventing problems, it's also about having a powerful safety net ready to catch and correct any issues before they could ever reach you, the customer.
This is where the quality control lab comes in. Think of these folks as the ultimate gatekeepers. They test everything: raw materials, packaging, the final product, And they test it all against a super strict set of standards. Put it this way, if something doesn't pass their tests, it doesn't get in the door. And it most certainly does not get out.
So what happens if a test actually fails? Well, there's a technical term for that. It's called an out-of-specification result. That's the formal trigger that basically sounds the alarm and says, whoa, stop, something isn't right here. An immediate investigation gets launched to figure out what went wrong and decide if the batch can be saved or if it has to be rejected.
And that safety net, it extends even after the product is already on the shelf. On one side, you have complaints. That's when a customer like you reports a problem and the company has to investigate it. But on the other side, you have a recall. Now that's a much bigger deal. A recall is when the company itself decides to pull an entire batch from stores, usually because their own internal checks found a problem that could affect safety.
So what's the glue that holds this entire complex system together? It's documentation. The standard makes it really clear. This is not just boring paperwork. It's the complete history of every single batch. It's the difference between relying on what someone remembers and having a precise, repeatable, and traceable record of absolutely everything that happened.
So we've looked at all these technical details. The people, the buildings, the processes, the paperwork. What does this all actually mean for you when you're standing in the store aisle trying to decide what to buy?
You know, this quote from the standard itself really just says it all. The whole point is to get a product that meets defined characteristics. In plain English, that means the product you buy does exactly what it's supposed to do, safely and reliably every single time. It's the ultimate confidence builder for you as a consumer.
So the next time you pick up a cosmetic product, you won't just see a bottle of lotion anymore. You'll see the invisible system working behind it, the trained experts, the sterile rooms, the constant testing, and the detailed records that all came together to put that product safely in your hands. Now that you know the whole journey, the real question is, will it change the way you choose?